Mm. Yeah, what's going on? Greetings. Wagwan. Topic for today: recovering your loss. Act Ed, Part 2. First scripture is taken from Luke chapter 7, verse 11 to 16. Memory verse is taken from Joel chapter 2, verse 25, which reads, "And I will restore to you the years that the lotus eat, had eaten, the conqueror and the caterpillar, and the palm worm, and my great army which I sent among you." Hmm. Motivational quote says, "All things are possible to them that have faith." Right. Prophetic word for today. Today I decree that the Lord God, who gave back to Job twice what he had before, shall do wonders in your life in the name of Yahshua. Message. One significant requirement for getting your lost axe head restored to you is divine intervention. Divine intervention could be good God coming down himself to help you. It could be God sending you an angel to get your lost axe head for you. It could be God using his prophet to help you and to and it could be God using anything he has created to help you recover your axe head. One thing is sure, when God intervenes in your predicament, you will have victory and laugh last. The son of the prophet recovered his lost axe head and was happy. Besides, they could complete their mission and go record success. How can you experience divine intervention and recovery of your lost axe head? The first step is that you must be born again, son of the prophet, and Elijah with him. They had a good relationship, hence the prophet of God could come to his rescue. Give your life to Christ. Second, you must have faith in God. He is the God of all possibilities. He can restore whatever you have lost, no matter how long ago you lost it, or any power that was no power that has custody of it. You must believe in his sovereign and absolute power. Third, as the son of the prophet cried to Elijah for help, you must cry to God desperately for his intervention and help. I decree that anything important for the fulfillment of your divine purpose that you lost shall be restored to you today in the name of Yahshua. Fourth, you must walk in absolute obedience to God. Peter obeyed God's instruction to launch into the deep, and he had a net breaking catch. The restoration of your lost ox head is tied to your complete obedience to God and his prophet. I decree that the power that restored ox head to the sons of the prophet will restore your lost ox head to you in the mighty name of Yahshua. O God of Zion, you will restore the foundation, fortunes to Job. Arise and give total restoration in the name of Yahshua. Power of the Most High God, recover my lost fortunes from the power of darkness in the name of Yahshua. I exalt any buried virtues, let them be returned to me by fire in the name of Yahshua. Yeah, man. Okay. I'm sure shift it. Sometimes signal drop, Let me shift it. Look, I said, oh yes, good thing I shift it because the signal low on the side. Okay, so yes, so signal got it came back up since my shift over here, so I don't know why the signal the live stream drop. I've been noticing it. So it fluctuates. Signal must have bright up here, so for some reason. Wow. Yes, indeed. Look if the newspaper did come. I don't see it. That means I don't reach it. I don't want it. drop into the anyhow pool of water out there. Get wet up. Mhm. Yes, indeed. Our axe head is very important. Just like oh, the sons of the prophet and their axe head, they cried out to Elijah. Elijah was a prophet, and he helped the sons of the prophet to regain his axe head. When it was restored to the sons of the prophet, he was happy. So too will any one of us who have lost our axe head, and we cry out to the Most High God, Yahweh, and it will be restored to us. We have to have complete trust in His divine power. Well, that is one of the steps. But we have to be born again. Second, we must have faith in God. Third, we have to cry out to the Most High God, just like how the son of the prophet did when he cried out to Elisha for help. We have to cry out to the Most High God. Fourth, we have to walk in absolute obedience to God. Just like Peter, when he was walking with the Son of God, he told him to cast his net to the right. He did, and they got a large volume of fish in their net still. He had to beckon to the other boat to come and help them to all that massive amount of fish in their nets. And when Peter obeyed God, God's Son, and he was rewarded with a great quantity of fish in their nets. Let us imitate such men who their instructions, their shortcomings were recorded in the Bible. Let us do so, dear friends. Yeah, man. So this is where we'll leave this segment. Let me mark it so make you not to read about this one. But we do part one yesterday, and this is part two. Recovering your lost accent. for the needy, not the greedy. Wow, that's the headline of a newspaper article. Government vows clearer tracking accountability in the multi-million dollar hurricane aid program. And here's a photo of the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the Labor, Minister of Labor and Social Security, Colonel Charles, shared a thought at the launch of the government's multi-million dollar Hurricane Melissa shelter recovery program at Jamaica House yesterday, Thursday. Yes, so as the government of Jamaica is rolling out, uh, yeah, launched its multi-million dollar Hurricane Melissa shelter recovery program, SRP, promising accountability through traceability and warnings, and warning that based on lessons learned from Hurricane Beryl in 2024, it will be able to spot individuals who try to dupe the system to collect multiple benefits. The SRP is a multifaceted collaborated national response for covering reconstruction, rehabilitation, and relocation, and marks the government's transition from relief to recovery after Hurricane Melissa, which which hit Jamaica on October 28th last year, led by Minister of Labor and Social Security. SRP is designed to support families, restore homes, and strengthen communities. In terms of the delivery, we will be utilizing a suite of payment modules to advance the delivery of disbursement that could allow us to accommodate many different circumstances that persons are e- expecting in. Labor and Social Security Minister Bernard Charles Jr. said, nothing, noting that the funds will be leveraging digital delivery, which allow all the government to reinforce and have better management of where vouchers are used to ensure accountability. With the SRP, what we have done is to develop some principles and protocols that will guide how we execute and to make sure that everything we do is clear and accountable. Here will be one benefit per household, and this is from the lessons learned in Beryl that was in 2024 working Beryl, where we had some persons who might have been partners for life and utilize the functionality of their different last names in a very good way. We have learned a lot of lessons in terms of our social workers going out and doing certain investigation. Charles Jr. added, pointing while pointedly while providing an overview of the program during the launch of at Jamaica House in St. Andrew. He said steps have been put in place to eliminate duplication using the taxpayer registration number TRN system and other means. In the meantime, he warned Jamaicans to be on the alert for unscrupulous individuals who might attempt to capitalize on their suffering. There is no fee associated with the process of application for the SRP. Artificial intelligence is being utilized by all, and so already we have had to castrate and eliminate from the public domain persons who have sought to give the impression that they are associated with the ministry or the government of Jamaica and are asking people for information. I want to reiterate that there is no fee and that you could, I should say, you should utilize the authentic government channels of information because we have found that ta- that they target the same persons we are targeting. Okay, the valid, the vulnerable. Wow. Our social workers are alert to make sure that they identify the persons trying to destroy our prosperity, he added. Yes, this is a word that this JLP administration has been touting about prosperity for some time now. Charles Jr. said, that is the Minister of Social Security, and said to date more than 70,000 household assessments have been completed, covering more than 200,000 people, which will determine the grant payments for household that that experience minor damage, major damage, or severe damage. So far, he said 18% of homes assessed have been severe damage, 40% major damage, and 42% minor damage. The major component of the program is the restoration of all owner-occupant family shelter roofs segment, which allows the ministry to satisfy the passage of benefits to individual access for damage. The grant tiers of at 75,000, 200,000, and 500,000 will be allocated based on the category of damage and are sourced from an interim of 10 billion allocated by the government and should begin flowing by the end of this month. To be eligible for the program, once you are on the beneficiary list, meaning once you have been impacted by the hurricane and you have done the assessment and you have been verified, you are automatically qualified the labor minister explained. If we got to your street and we didn't see you, you cannot complete the assessment. We have a self-reporting tool that you can also access, not for you to qualify, but for you to be assisted and then verified. You you would qualify. He said further. Mhm. So if you don't have any damage, you are not going to be part of the moves. If you have minor or major severe damage, you are part of the ROOFS. So it's an abbreviation, so they call it ROOFS. Charles explained. The program also carries a government-led repair component which is being driven by the Jamaica Defense Force, which with a focus on roof repair, partner partner-led repair aspect led by the Humanitarian Assistance Committee and the National Housing Trust led component which features grants, loans, insurance and solution deployed through the state's social housing program. Completing the slew of functions under the program is an extension of the relocation regularization program of the government to ensure that individuals in vulnerable aspects are rehoused in a safer area. If you are in one category, you won't be in another. For the relocation and regularization, the conversion didn't start with Hurricane Melissa, and it won't stop. The intention is to focus on the homes impacted by Melissa, but the program will bring to attention all aspects that are exposed and vulnerable in the country, Charles stated. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, delivering the keynote address, said the government will be stepping up its efforts to counter misinformation in the information economy and protect the SRP from criminal inflation. Okay, in a program like this, where I seen an artificial generated image of the Minister of Labor and other influential persons, including myself, we have to be absolutely careful that there is no hijacking of a program like this that could have persons being caught paying for receiving the grant. For example, because there are such scams out there where an unsuspecting person may be caught up in the scheme to say, let me help you get the 500,000 grant, only said. There is no intermediate. I want to make the point clear. Of Local, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security is not hire anyone, any agent, any intermediary to help you get the grant. So if anyone comes to you or say, may you may see something on social media suggesting this, please dismiss it. He advised. Wow. It's also urged householders to be conscientious. If you are an owner of several houses, you can only get one benefit. This is not for the greedy, this is for the needy, which is why we do an assessment to take your TRN. Make sure that you are clearly identified so that you can get a benefit here and then come over and get another benefit there, because you would be depriving someone who really needs the benefit when you would have gotten two. So we are very careful in putting in place a system of accountability. The Prime Minister stressed. President of the International Federation of Red Cross, Red Association, Kate, Kate Forbes, also addressed the event, noting that shelter is central to recovery. She said, this remains one of the priority areas of both Jamaica Red Cross and the IFRC. She said the entry is committed to community-based approaches that reduce future costs and risks and strengthens preparedness and place people at the center of recovery. End of article. What is this? I see something here. Brazil government signs agreement with US to share biometric data. My gosh. You see a picture of a thumbprint or fingerprint, stock image of fingerprint, biometric authentication button. Wow. So Brazil and the United States have launched a new initiative making a milestone in their cooperation on border protection amidst concern being raised by opposition legislators. The initiative will allow for officials from the country's Ministry of Immigration to work with their US counterparts under biometric data sharing partnership. As part of this new partnership, Brazil points of entry will receive a software and hardware upgrade that enables immigration officers to conduct background checks on visitors by accessing the United States Department of Homeland Security identity database, one of the world's largest biometric law enforcement. Okay. We are pleased to introduce the Biometric Data Sharing Partnership, a collaboration initiative between the Ministry of Immigration and the government of the United States through its embassies here in Brazil, said Immigration Minister Kerry at the signing ceremony. This partnership reads how we identify people entering our country, uh, supports or immigration officers with advanced tools and training and strengthens national security. We remain fully committed to safeguarding our national borders while providing excellent service to those who visit us with genuine intent, was added. Home Affairs and Enterprise Minister Oscar Mara said that in an increasing interconnected world, national security, border management, and public safety are no longer challenges that any country can face alone. Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Immigration, Governance and Labor, Tanya Santos, said that the new technology will provide immigration officers with the ability to identify certain red flags, be it in behavior patterns or travelers, that would allow them to submit someone a second screening where their biodata will be captured. This database is one of the world's largest biometric database. We have countries from all over the world providing information, and we are sharing it with our partners like Brazil. US Embassy in Brazil catching Beamer added. However, opposition legislator Patrick Faber told a news conference that the party is questioning the agreement. A year ago, we saw the Prime Minister sign an agreement with the US government about sharing biodata information, and upon now, we have not heard any clarification as to what that is. He said. Faber added that citizens have to be concerned when they are not being informed by their leaders about the information that is being shared. End of article. Sorry about that. Hurricane relief grant used to use the fund vacation. Phillips tells PAAC. Wow. Greetings to you. Wagwan. Welcome to the live stream. A member, sorry, a Manchester woman found her vacation in the amount of 150,000 using a housing grant she received from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Wow. After claiming her house was damaged by Hurricane Beryl, which impacted the island in July 2024, according to the opposition member of parliament, Michael Phillips. I am from Jamaica. This live stream is streaming from Jamaica. Okay. To make matters worse, her household received a second housing grant, an obvious duplication, as her brother was also presented with a check for 150,000. Phillips, who represents Manchester North Western, told the Wednesday meeting of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriation Committee (PAAC). He was addressing the acting permanent secretary in the MLSS on Jennings. I know one of the women who said her daughter and son got benefits out of one household. They didn't use the money for what it was intended for. One said she took a vacation with 150,000 that she got, Philip said, directing his comments to the current efforts to assist Jamaicans affected by Hurricane Melissa, which hit sections of the island last October. Philip said, in the instance, I can agree with that there are going to be some duplication. One person in a household getting from the MLSS, another getting from the Member of Parliament. The PAC is currently probing the government's response to Hurricane Melissa that devastated South and Northern parishes. Phillips indicated on Wednesday that such duplication is being repeated in an aftermath of Melissa, in part because MPs are again being left out of the relief and recovery process. Addressing Jennings, Phillips said, we are generally the first respondent on the ground, ourselves and the councillors, but when I ask the ministry for assistance, we are told that they are not going through the members of parliament. Even when we are asking for information on persons who have received benefits because you have Ministry of Labour giving, you have the JDF, Jamaica Defence Force giving, you have members of the parliament giving, he added. Phillips said that in such a scenario, MPs would be able to lessen the likelihood of duplication because the response from the ministry is that there's a Data Protection Act, and I understand that these names cannot be shared with us, while pointing out that he sees himself as part of government. The opposition MP said, we have to find a way that in an emergency like this, there has to be some sus- suspension of the Data Protection Act. He also asks whether it was the policy of the Labour Ministry to not include MPs and councillors in the distribution of care packages after a disaster. Hmm. We started out that they can't give it to us because TRN, taxpayer registration number, and name had to be given. I hear person saying that is not so, but it is so. It is what we experienced. Is it possible policy that members of parliament are not being a part of the process? Philip asks, with Jennings replying, that's a tricky one, member, pointing out that she was involved in the deployment development of Disaster Risk Management Act. Jennings notes that MPs are part of the Parish Disaster Committee, PDC. That's the base, and they are supposed to be active in their Parish Disaster Committee, she said. Jennings also pointed to other entities that make up the PDC, including the local authorities, humanitarian groups, and she and her ministry. She said MPs have a key role, and part of that role is in the coordination, part of the referral as well. And if they have identified persons who need the assistance, we expect the members of parliament to indicate. Acting Permanent Secretary acknowledged that MLSS, which provides the direct relief following a disaster, may not have all the resources that are necessary to give all MPs, members of parliament, but she said the ministry has responded to MPs who have indicated that there may be a particular need in their constituencies. Jennings said this was why the ministry has enlisted the support of the JDF. However, Phillips responded that it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. He then gave an example of a lack of coordination between the ministry and the MPs. He told Jennings that he had arranged to meet with Labour and Social Security Minister Bernard Giles in the worst affected area of his constituency on the border of northwest and northeast Manchester. He gave me a time to meet him in a particular community. When I drove into the community waiting on him, there was a helicopter on the ground offloading care package. When the minister when the minister told me he was bringing packages to give out, when I called the minister to ask if he knew of the helicopter, he didn't, said Phillips. He told the PAC that the community in question had received care packages almost every day for 1 week, while other communities were not addressed until the second week after Melissa hit. Wow. End of article. That does not sound fair at all. One community gets and others never benefit. That's why there was so much underground rhetoric. That's why other entertainers had to be getting involved in the distribution of care packages. USA it has seized another oil tanker in the Caribbean. Okay, this screen grab from a video post on X account of US Southern Command on January 15, 2026 shows that the US military says it's agreed on action to apprehend the tanker Victoria in the Caribbean Sea. tanker in the Caribbean Sea is its campaign to control oil leaving Venezuela, U.S. Southern Command said. Marines and sailors apprehended the tanker Veronica without incident in a pre-dawn raid. The military command responsible for Central, South America, and the Caribbean said on social media with a video showing soldiers applying, rappelling onto the vessel's deck. The only oil leaving Venezuela will be oil that is coordinated properly and lawfully, he said. The tanker is the sixth seas in the recent weeks. End of article. Churches take up government's aid offers. Hmm. So, as the place quiet, that's me. I like hear my wristwatch a tick, tick, tick. So loud. 176 apply for share of 75 million grant so far. I see a picture here of local government minister Desmond McKenzie addressing members of the Trelawney Infirmary staff in Falmouth on Thursday, looking on his infirmary matron Tracy Ann Bell. Falmouth Trelawney, noting that more than 176 churches across the five parishes most devastated by Hurricane Melissa have already applied for assistance. And local government and community development minister Desmond McKenzie says government will not walk back its controversial decision to allocate 75 million to assist places of worship affected by the Category 5 storm. The move have received strong opposition from some quarters, including within the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, with outspoken St. Catherine's South Western Member of Parliament Everall Warmington being his normal self in this in his instance that the plan is unwise. This is not something that the government is going to back away from because we are seeing the benefit of it, Mackenzie said Thursday during an outreach in Trelawney by Kingston Transform Life Church. I know a lot of people are knocking it, but let me say this. The church is the community because there are a lot of persons who rely heavily on the churches. The ministry said, the minister said, we are going to be building back churches because we can, but we have provided some funding for churches to clean up. And if there's any minor thing that can be done, that can be done also, he added. That would cover Events like the one hosted Thursday on the grounds of Ellison's Wakeland Center, the temporary location for residents of Trelawney Infirmary. Church members provided counseling to infirm staff and distributed, distributed care packages. Providing a breakdown of the 176 applications from churches. Social Development Commission (SDC) Executive Director Omar Firth said 46 were from Westmoreland, 41 from St. James, 40 from St. Elizabeth, 30 from Trelawney, and 19 from Hanover. He said SDC team will begin verification exercise immediately before approved applications are forwarded to the Ministry for Funding Allocation. We are happy to report that the 176 churches have applied so far, and we will begin the process in these five devastated parish. First said, can I say, let's just landed. Okay, thank you. Remember when I talk with you, I say you need to do some more videos. Yeah, man. The video them not too long. Can do a 5 minute video. I know some people make some 30 minutes, 20 minutes videos. Just start, my sister Betty, start to make a little, improve your videos. Because I see you still have several videos. I know you, when we were all in your stage, well, start small and you love to cook. Just do a little 5 minute video or 10 minute video, you cooking something and talking about it. Because there's a lot of different avenues, my sister, if you're still here. God, what you say, I go to the gym and thing. It's good to take care of oneself. Yeah, man, thank you for that. Thank you for, okay, let's. All right. Mackenzie underscored the social and emotional role played by faith-based groups, recording a recent visit to Santa Cruz and Elizabeth. I spoke with a lady, and mentally and emotional, she wasn't steady. She said, Mr. Mr. Desmond, I need somebody to talk to. It's good sometimes when it's not a politician that talks to them because they will tell you that politician mouth sweet and politicians will tell you the things that you want to hear, which might not be so quoted. But government alone can't do it, Mackenzie continued. He lauded the efforts of Transform Life Church, which is located next to the local government and community development ministry headquarters on Ackley Park Road in Kingston. This church that is here today, Transform Life, they occupy the same compound as we do, but there's a fence that separates us, and they have been good to us. And when I want to say to you how grateful I am on behalf of the Ministry of Local Government and the government. I want to thank you for the work that you have been doing, the things that you are doing, Mackenzie said. End of article. Yeah, man. It could go. So one article about Trinidad. One of the newspaper. I forgot to read. TNT government seeking to borrow US 1 billion on foreign markets. Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Camila Preseda in a photo there. The Trinidad and Tobago government says it is seeking to borrow up to US 1 billion on the international market as has appointed JP Morgan Securities and Bank of America Securities Inc. as joint lead managers and arrangers for the insurance. The Kamala Preseda administration said that the funds, which will be used for general development projects and repayment previous loans, will be raised through the international capital markets, where governments issue bonds or notes to large global investors. Under the external loans, tax and exchange control exemption or order 2026 signed on Monday by Finance Minister Danko. All payments related to the notes, included principal interest, other debt charges, will be exempt from taxes and exchange control requirements. The notes will be offered to qualified instrumental buyers in the United States in accordance with the rule of the U.S. Security Act and as well as investors outside the U.S. under regulation. End of article. It wasn't a long one. Kingston man charged with murder. A carpenter of a Kingston-based address has been charged in connection with the murder of 22-year-old Tyrese Harrison in the parish on February the 19th. He has been identified as 22-year-old Dwayne Miller, otherwise called Glasses, of 21 Payne Avenue, Kingston 11. Miller was being charged with murder on mountain with intent, illegal possession of firearm, illegal possession of ammunition, And using a firearm commit a felony. Reports from the Duane police are that a subsequent investigation implicated Miller in the shooting death of Darius Harrison. Police were reportedly on mobile patrol in the area when they heard a loud explosion and proceeded to the Payne Avenue location. Upon their arrival, they saw a group of men who ran upon seeing the police and made good their escape in the area. Investigation continued as arrest warrant was prepared for the accused after statements were recorded from the complainants. Another witness in the incident, Miller, reportedly attended Winnie Park Police Station on Monday, January 12, along with his attorney, where he was arrested by the police and placed in custody. The arrest warrant was executed on Wednesday, January 14. Miller was charged. A court date for him is being finalized. End of article. Another international news. This time is talking about the weather. 2025 was the hottest year on record. Climate monitors. The planet lodged its third hottest year on record in 2025, extended a run of unprecedented heat with a with no relief expected in 2026, global climate monitors said Wednesday. The last 11 years have now been the warmest ever on record, with 2022 topping the podium and 2023 second place, and to its Euro climate change service, Bickley Earth, a California-based nonprofit research organization. For the first time, global temperatures exceeded 1.5 C relative to pre-industrial times on average over the last 3 years. Copernicus said in its annual report, the warming speak of observed from 2023 to 2025 has been extreme and suggests an acceleration in the rates of Earth's warming. Blakely Earth said in a separate report. The landmark 2015 Paris Arrangement Committee the world to limiting warming to well below 2 C, pursuing efforts to hold it at 1.5 C. A long-term target scientists say would help avoid the worst consequence of climate change. UN Chief Anthony warns in October that reaching 1.5 C has inevitably, but the world could limit this period of overshoot by cutting greenhouse gas immersion as quickly as possible. Well, based on what I'm seeing here, we're expecting to get hot. Just like last year was hot, this year's going to be hot too. Uh, they quote President Trump in this article here is he would poll the United States second biggest polluter for after China upon a, mm, mm, mm. Alright, I believe it here because the more getting into them technical terms here. But it's quite a lengthy article, a breakdown of how and why, because of greenhouse gases, the rising of temperatures. So by the time I'll get gonna be hot. So, yes, indeed. Tears on my pillow, pain in my heart. You are on my mind. What are you looking on, my horse? Oh, I was looking over here. The time is a bit chilly, and yet mosquitoes are still around. Normally, they would stay up in the ceiling, but them a buzz around. And you see one a buzz over here. I do have this phone I read from the newspaper article. I couldn't clap it. But it's all good, man. In Australia, social media sites block 4.7 million underage accounts. Wow. Sydney, Australia. The world's first social media ban for under 16. The country's online safety watchdog said Friday. Initial figures shows platforms were taking meaningful action to remove underage users. Australia's e-safety commissioner Julian Julie Inman Grant said it is clear that e-safe regulator guidelines and engagement with platforms is already delivering significant outcomes, he said in a statement. Australia has required big platforms, including Meta, TikTok, YouTube, to stop underage users from holding accounts. The legislation came into force on December 10th last year. Companies face fines of US, I should say Australia, 49.5 million US, $33 million if they fail to take reasonable steps to comply. Billionaire Mark Zuckerberg Meta said last week it had removed 331,000 underage accounts from Instagram, 173,000 from Facebook, and 40,000 from trends in the week of December 11th. Wow. But Meta reports it's called for app stores to be required to verify people's age and get parental approval before under 16 can download an app. This was the only way to avoid wreck on the mall race to stop teens migrating to new apps to avoid the ban, the company said. Australia's eSafety commissioner said it takes time to verify ages accurately, but it expects platforms to improve their performance. It also it is also the responsibility of industry to prevent circumvention as outlined in the e-safety industry guidelines, and regulators said. Eman Grant said it was too early to say whether other platforms were compliant completely, but early signs were encouraging. While some kids may find creative ways to stay on social media, it is important to remember that just like other safety laws have in society, success is measured by reduction in harm and resetting cultural norms, she said. Download Downloads of lesser known platforms such as Blue Sky, Lemonade surge ahead of the implementation of the teen social media ban. Both social media sites recognize that they are covered by the legislation, and they are cooperating with the Australian regulator. Inman Grant said, given the vast number of online services, given the vast number of online services and fast evolving nature of tech industry, it's impossible to list all of the services which meet the conditions and are obligated to comply with the social media minimum age obligation, she said. As I have said for some time now, our compliance focus will remain on platforms with the highest number of Australian users. End of article. Well, I think it's a good move, to tell you the truth, because sometimes some of these young people can be, you know, don't them have the energy. They will come and pose or take pictures of themselves or make videos gyrating. It's mostly what I've observed. Mostly young schoolgirls in Jamaica do these things, come on certain sites and flaunting themselves. And you have mature adults, male, you know, reaching out to these young ladies. We just have to take a hold of ourselves, yeah, man, and make the desire of the flesh lead us into down the wrong path to our own detriment. Don't be surprised, blessed man. And that one out there, no, like for alright, in Africa, they use social media to, mix some videos for good purpose. You can act and do stuff, but or sing, but don't gyrate yourself and attract the wrong attention. If you use social media platforms to use acting talents or dancing in a positive way to receive funds for what you do, that's good. Not not the way with some, and then carry on, yeah, man. Carry on, boisterous. So that's for me. That's what I've been observing since it on these platforms for quite some time. You understand? That's what I have observed. That's I share what I observed. Yeah, man. I'll shift gear and go into the second segment of my reasoning from God's word. The vision is yet for its appointed time. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. We live in a time when most people reject and even ridicule the Bible's warnings about the end of this system of things. Second Peter 3, 3 and 4. First of First of all, know this, that in the last days ridiculers will come with their ridicule, proceeding according to their own desires, and saying, where is this promised presence of his? Why, from the day our forefathers fell asleep in death, all things are continuing exactly as they were from creation's beginning. That's what some people will say. Though there are many things that we do not know, we need to have strong faith that the end of this system of things will come right on time, and that Yahweh will care for us. We must also strengthen our faith in the channel that Yahweh is using today to guide us. Matthew 24, verse 45. Who release the faithful and discreet slave, whom his master appointed over his domestics to give them their food at the proper time. Pick up a newspaper there and then throw it in the book. I don't want to throw it up. I don't know why the company make money. They might deliver two paper. So from the cleaner, the observer, why the company uh, reject or not putting in the newspaper them in a bag. This guy look overcast like rain I go fall. Man, morning, yeah. see what goes now. I'll put it over so because it's I don't want the signal the stream drop. Yeah, just go outside, go to the charger here. Wrap it up. So, yes, indeed. I can't locate a charger. Okay, charger. Don't know which part it's hiding. Let me see. Take up some of them so and put them up. Okay, yeah. My people, hear this in the community in the housing scheme where I reside, or I should say where I live. From when I get my e-bike, the kids in the community been coming to me. Sir, can I do a ride? I told them no, because I can't do that. I so I am so pleased to know that my transport I can um, ride to work and uno want borrow my transportation, my e-bike. See that? Me I just plug out my charger a while ago for the e-bike and me wrap up my card, just plug out the charger and put it in my bag. I told them that I gave away a bike some years ago for that purpose there. For anybody who wants to learn. He's a genuine type of person. And I'm genuine person. I'm not perfect, but I try to do the right thing. Give out a bike years ago. And they decided to give out another one or help people practice for this. Oh, the machine of the e-bike, yeah, quite expensive. And I try to save myself the hustle and the bustle. Me, I fight with people for going a bus or taxi. So can I hear me, Because sometimes when me talk, I'm so conscious of myself. Sometimes me talk and my voice might get a bit low. That's why I use my microphone. But me not understand them kids in the community. when you get my things down and go drop it, damage my something. I mean, if I go fix it, cause maybe one workman I ride off of the machine off my bike. I'm gonna say to myself, you know, I'm not do it again. When you come back with it, I'm examine the bike. Certain things feel out of place. You put me and ride it. I say, yo, no, you know what thing again, you know. That's why I try cement it down in my system. So I will not let know it. Not even tools. I've noticed people when they play some millionaire scheme. Them like to borrow people things. I know some my grandmother grew me for borrow people things. Or my mother. And also them these ladies grow I and I for borrow people things. No. Them say them rather give away than to borrow or beg people things or borrow them things. Cause they don't want nobody have nothing over them. So we grow. We don't grow up here borrow people things, no sir. So they I go slide out some little things and try put them up. My father don't know what a charger there. A Nokia charger. Same so me lose a charger head to, you know. Drop out in a one supermarket or my shop for the past six 6 years. My shop at the supermarket there. 6 years. And normally when things whether goods or anything will happen, they drop in the place, they always secure it. But on that particular time there, the thing dropped out and somebody found it and didn't return it. I had to purchase another charger. No, same thing happen again. I have to clear myself of that. You know, like the spirit if you follow me around. Me I lose my things and if I replace them. I don't like it. Today our family. We're there. Oh, did I read off this thing here? No. I'm gonna read it off. Let's stop. The newspaper come and chew. Sprinkler system can turn on and the water can run with the paper because I don't know why the guy who delivered the two newspaper them stop put them in a plastic bag. Alright, when the Great Tribulation begins, we may receive specific life-saving instruction. Now is the time to strengthen our trust and confidence in the direction we receive from those taking the lead in Yahweh's organization. We cannot expect to follow their direction confidently during the Great Tribulation if we struggle to follow it now. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is set for its appointed time, and it is rushing towards the end, and it will not lie. Even if you delay, keep an expectation of it, for it will without fail come true. It will not be late. Yes. Just straighten up, fill up a faith, and you know God, Yahweh. I don't know, I love the Hebrew. pronunciation of the Creator's name than the English name of Jehovah. Yahweh. I don't know, I need to get to see my name in Hebrew and say, and pronounce it as how it sounds. That would be a fascinating research, if I do say so myself. I see my sister, tall dear sister, she's on. Yes, indeed, with their family, with there. I think I will leave it right here. Right here, so we'll go in this live stream. Salute, utter love to you all. Take care of yourself. Much love and respect. Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. Alright, pick up yourself. Well, yeah, come in when I drop, I'll leave out. Pick up yourself. Welcome and let me see. I used to leave it. So sorry. Normally I'm gonna do like a 2 hour thing, but I feel we got a 2 hour. I feel we got a 2 hour at all. But pick up yourself. I'm out.